What's your relationship to fear?
There's some things that I have to be honest, I'm fearful of that I just haven't actually went through and have done yet, but I have them in the back of my mind. And there's other things that I'm fearful of that I just do because I know I have to. So I think there's a difference between if I want to get to this next level and it's instrumental or I have to do it for whatever reason, I'm going to have to face those fears and get through it. And more times than not, I find that I was fearful for little to no reason.
Oh, okay. Say more about that.
It goes back to running my first marathon. I was extremely intimidated, extremely fearful. I felt like this imposter syndrome that I didn't belong around all these marathon runners. Training for it felt really hard. The day of the marathon happens. You don't know what to expect. You go in this corral and there's tens of thousands of people surrounding you. The horn goes off and you're off and running. You have to just go and you figure it out. And my experience was first half of it was actually pretty easy to me. And I was like, wow, I could do 2 of these because the adrenaline is so great and it's pumping through and all this excitement is building up and you're going through these neighborhoods and people are cheering you on. And then at mile 13, everything changed when someone held up a sign that said not almost there, which was actually the reason why I created this podcast in the beginning. Was from that moment. The rest of the race got harder. That adrenaline started to wear down. So that was definitely a learning lesson for me. And what I realized at mile 21, when I turned around and I saw 5,000 people behind me, was that I was worrying for nothing.
So you said 2 things there that kind of caught my attention. 1, getting into the corral and kind of not knowing what's going to happen and all that. But 2, that you knew it was going to be tough, right? So you had this knowledge of here's why I might fail versus not having any information about what's going to happen and then why you might be able to do it. Is the blocker that you have too much information about why you might fail versus I don't have enough information about why this could work?
Yeah, that's a good point. The first half was so good because things were feeling right. I was in the right headspace. My pace was good for what I was striving for. And I was thinking about all the things that were going right. And it wasn't until this guy holds up a sign again that says not almost there that then I started thinking about all the things that can go wrong. And I started to manifest those things instead of the opposite.
Right.
I started to think about, oh, my legs are hurting. And then they hurt more. And one thing I realized, and I learned this from a gentleman named Chad Wright, who's a Navy SEAL, he's like, you don't give pain a voice. You don't speak it out loud because then it starts to manifest itself because now you're hearing it. You're not just have this internal talk. You're putting it in the world and you can't take it back and you hear it and it just kind of circles through you in a different way. So the first half I didn't give pain a voice. The second half I certainly did.
Yeah.
And it made the whole thing harder.
Do you think that applies to uncertainty? Don't give uncertainty a voice?
It's normal to think about uncertainty. It's be hard to say don't give it a voice because we all have this innate fear of doing something that's uncomfortable. But what you realized, what I referenced, is you find out that fear is unfounded. Not indifferent than going to that gym for the first time.
Right.
Not indifferent than pulling a trailer in a truck, which we're a small business. And we wear a lot of hats. And last year we had this activation in New York City and we needed to get a tap trailer out there. Well, you can't drive this little tap trailer across the country. And I could have hired someone to bring it out there. But the problem is we needed to keep all these kegs cold because we make non-alcoholic beer. So in order to get a tap trailer out there, I needed to get a bigger trailer for the smaller trailer.
You had never pulled the trailer?
I'd never pulled a trailer in my life. I watched a YouTube video.
Everyone does.
I didn't go to trailer school.
Right.
So I'm driving down the highway and all of a sudden I just feel this complete jerk and thought almost we got hit by something, but didn't know what to expect. Looked behind me and the trailer's all black, so I couldn't really tell what was happening. So I ended up sliding over. Luckily I was in the right lane. I think I was in the right lane. Maybe I was in the middle lane. I slid over. And when I stopped, the weight of the trailer flew under my truck and essentially lifted my whole truck up because the hitch and everything went under my truck. Luckily, I have a big diesel. So I go out and I look at it. I'm like, oh, shit. Clearly, the trailer fell off. Why did it fall off? I knew immediately as soon as I saw it. I'm like, I'm an idiot. I didn't switch this ball to make it the bigger hitch for this trailer. So that really scared me. Fast forward a few months later, going to an event in the city and look at the ball, the hitch, make sure that's right. That's on
Right,
my
right.
mental checklist now. Put it on there. We start taking off. Now the trailer's fully packed with stuff. We're going to a big music festival, and all of a sudden, the same feeling. But this time, I wasn't as like freaked out because
Right.
I knew kind of what to expect.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh, the trailer fell off. I was perplexed why it fell off, but it fell off.
Yeah.
So the whole idea of like driving this trailer scared me. And yet, within 1 year, I've had it fall off twice. The lesson to me there is if you need to figure out how to do something, you got to do it and realize shit's going to happen.
Sure. Yeah.
But that stuff that's going to happen, you're going to learn from it, and you're going to be able to create an expectation within yourself to know what it feels like
Yeah.
when it starts to happen again.
Yeah.
The best way to learn how to do something is to do it. I would have never, ever known how to deal with a trailer falling off my truck unless I experienced it.
Yeah.
And now that I experienced it, I know what it's going to feel like. So I've kind of already tested the limits of what could happen. And I know someone who's an expert in trailers is going to say fish trailing on the highway. I know there's probably a lot of other things, but for my intents and purposes, or like the way I would drive a trailer, like I have experienced a lot already.
Yeah.
So the reality is, like, when you face something in your life, or when you have a fear, or when you feel intimidated, because I certainly was in all those cases, best thing you could do is just do the thing.
Yeah.
Drive the trailer,
Yeah.
start the business, because you're going to learn so much from the experience that no YouTube video or no one can coach you or teach you, or you can learn in books.
I'm glad that you said it that way, because I was thinking also about the way people come to you and say, I want to start a business. I want to get in shape. I want whatever. And it's like banging your head against the wall going, just start, just go. And, that really made me think of what are those blockers for people?
Especially when it comes to fitness. So the trailer was like a transactional thing that I had to do, right? I had to get this trailer. Now, could I have hired someone? Yeah. So you could hire people for everything.
Right.
The reality is, like, you have to pick and choose like what you think is attainable and what makes sense. And that's questionable if me driving a trailer made sense. But the reality is, like, when you talk about other things like fitness, there's always this thing in your mind that's like, I'm going to start tomorrow. And the reality is you are much better off statistically starting today, starting at this moment, like right now when you're hearing this, because there's always a reason to like get the right supplements and get the perfect diet on paper,
Right.
and get the perfect routine and meet the perfect trainer. But life isn't about perfection. It's about experimentation. It's about trying things. It's about learning and finding what works for you and navigating your way through. And there's no better time than the present to make that happen, because there'll never be this perfect future for yourself, despite how you want to think about it in your mind. There's no human that I know that has taken up those positive habits and that looked backwards, even though they might have been intimidated, and said, man, I wish I didn't do that. It's usually the opposite. It's like, I wish I would have done that sooner.
There's something in the way that you said, I want to learn this thing. You talk a lot about curiosity. And so I'm wondering, is curiosity an antidote to fear?
Yes, but you need to have action. You could be curious all day
Sure.
long.
Okay, great point.
Like the curiosity here was like, well, how do we accomplish this? How do we economically get a trailer
Right.
and all our stuff to New York? How do we keep our kegs cold?
Yeah.
Because it would require a separate refrigerated truck and then a separate rig to drive our activation and then back. It was just way too complex. We're like, well, let's just figure it out.
You're approaching that as like having a curiosity of what we can accomplish. Like, we need to do these things. Let's figure out how to do it. There's an answer there. What are some things that could go poorly? We'll figure those out. Versus, I think a lot of people that are making excuses to themselves about, I've got this gym membership, but I haven't gone yet. Do you think they're not doing the work to say, like, aren't you curious to know what you could do if you start? Like, is there a gap there in a way?
I think so. But I'd also say, like, deep down, it's just a matter of effort. It's like my son. He's in a rut right now. He loves to play Roblox.
Okay.
He has special needs, and he goes to a school that's an hour away. So he commutes an hour there, an hour back. When he gets home, he's mentally drained, and he just wants to be on Roblox. The negative to that is he could be on Roblox for literally 15 hours after school and not even communicate to us. And it's not like he doesn't want to. He just can't he just can't help himself.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's this interesting thing where it is way more effort for him to get out of what he's comfortable doing and go work out or be healthy, even though it's on his mind because we talked to him about it. But the reality is the amount of effort mentally it takes him to get out of his routine to go do something uncomfortable versus being comfortable after this hard day of school is a lot. And I
Yeah.
can imagine how much that weighs on other people in a very similar way. You have a routine, you're comfortable, you are used to doing certain things, and now you're like, okay, well, I need to do this. Like he knows he needs to do something.
Uh-huh.
But at that moment, the effort to do it is so much greater than the future benefit
Right.
that it doesn't even compute to a possible thing in his mind.
Do you think that it's that he doesn't know, and I don't mean to make it too personal around your son, but so make this for anybody, that they don't know how good that future outcome could be or how likely it is, but they know the discomfort that they might feel with the uncertainty of, is that discomfort worth it?
I think in his case, he doesn't know necessarily how good it could feel. He's done things where he's glad he's done them, but he's afraid of doing them. Like flag football would be a good example of that. But there is definitely this fear of failure. There's a fear of, I'm not going to be good at said thing. And I don't think that's unique to him. I think when we all sign up going back to the gym, like there's this fear of like, I'm going to be around all these fit people, which by the way, you're not in most every gym in the world.
I have a hack for that. You want to hear it?
Oh yeah.
I started going to the gym and I'm glad for it. But I realize if I run on the track at a certain time of day when there's a bunch of old people there, I feel really good because I'm going so much faster than them.
Except when the old person beats you.
I know.
Because there's always one of them.
Yeah.
It's hard to do hard things.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you have to be perfect and do them. You're going to go into periods of time where you don't want to do anything, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But I think making that part of your life, the only way to learn how to drive a trailer is to drive a trailer. The only way to learn how to work out is to go to the gym or to work out.
Yeah.
The only way you're going to learn how to create a business is to create a business.
Yeah.
This doesn't happen in books. Books are incredible. They're cheat codes to try to get faster at things. But you could hypothesize all day long about business until you face it, the things that you could not possibly predict. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's a good spot to wrap.
Yeah.
There's a lot there. Thanks, man.